breaking news and trending talk. This is 1017 FM and 710 KEEL. KEEL, Shreveport.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. Sun this morning, clouds and sun this afternoon and evening with a thunderstorm or two, high 91. Partly cloudy, low 72 overnight. With your AccuWeather.com forecast.
Good morning, 3 past 6 o'clock. Robert and Erin, it's 1017 FM, 710 KEEL. Erin, local news, looking ready.
What's the latest with the Cross Bayou project? We'll take a closer look. Oh, we're going to take a closer look at a shoplifter. You won't believe what she did. And the governor's keeping a close eye on Harvey.
Is that a bottle of wine in your pants? Or is that 10 bottles of wine in your pants?
Or 20.
And Miss Ollie joins us just after 7 o'clock this morning.
You bet.
Got a lot of questions to ask between now and then, as well as then. Fletcher and sports, traffic, and weather all coming up this hour, and it's here on KEEL.
Keel Morning Report. Now on 1017 FM and 710 Keel.
The Shreveport City Council, on a 5-2 vote, okays a proposal to potentially build a $100 million sports and retail complex at Cross Bayou. The complex would be home to the New Orleans Pelicans G League team and would feature shops, recreational areas, office space, and residential. Mayor Ollie Tyler quotes a famous athlete during her pitch to the council.
Michael Jordan said something that really resonates with me. He said, some people want it to happen, some wish it to happen. Let's make it happen. And I say, let's make it happen.
The proposal claims the new complex would generate millions of dollars in revenue and create hundreds of jobs. Now, if the Pelicans choose Shreveport for their home, the arena could be built and open by November of 2019. You really have to see this to believe it. But a woman is caught on videotape shoplifting bottles and bottles of liquor from Thrifty Liquor on Burt Coons. She actually walked out with 18 bottles of booze stuffed in her pants, bra, and purse. Oh, she did pay for one bottle. You can see the full video on our website, KEELnews.com. Governor John Bel Edwards says state officials are monitoring the disturbance in the Gulf of Mexico. It's named Harvey, and GOSEP is setting up their crisis action team. He says the storm could hit southeast Texas sometime Friday as a Category 1 hurricane, so southwest Louisiana should be on alert.
But really all over Louisiana, because we don't know yet how widespread the rain bands are going to be and how widespread the different wind effects will be.
Lawmakers from all over the state gathered at Municipal Auditorium to discuss the future of our state. One of the major topics, whether or not to keep the temporary 1-penny sales tax hike on the books. Both Ryan Gaddy and Cedric Glover said they were against keeping the tax. However, Speaker of the House Taylor Barra says the tax should at least be considered until the state finds more financial footing. Bossier Schools held a big groundbreaking celebration for the new $47 million Benton High School. The new school will be built in the area behind Kingston Elementary. The new facility will be able to hold 1,450 students with room for expansion if needed. The school is set to be opened in the fall of 2019. A monument to Britney Spears. It could become a thing. Matt Parker with that.
With growing controversy surrounding Confederate monuments in the state, one resident has made it her mission to replace those statues with statues of Britney Spears. Cassie Thibodeau of Rain, Louisiana, says that Spears is a Louisiana hero and someone who should be celebrated. So far, Thibodeau's petition on change.org has been signed by over 2,000 people. From 1017 FM and 710 Keel, I'm Matt Parker.
President Donald Trump is blaming the media for the widespread condemnation of his response to violence in Virginia. Protest organized by white supremacists. Now, at a political rally in Phoenix, he unabashedly acknowledged that he was defying his advisors' recommendations to stick to the script and appear presidential. People are rushing out to get a Powerball ticket as tonight's jackpot has reached $700 million. The cash value is $443 million. It's the second largest lotto jackpot in U.S. history. Louisiana Lottery spokesperson Kim Chopin says they've had sales in the Bayou State over $20 million just for this run.
This one actually ranks as the second largest Powerball jackpot ever, just behind that world jackpot of $1.5 billion, which happened in January 2016.
George Clooney donating $1 million to fight hate groups. He's announced the Clooney Foundation for Justice will support the Southern Poverty Law Center with the grant to combat hate groups across the U.S. Sunshine today. A few clouds will be moving in, though. 91 for the high. Right now, 76. I'm Erin McCarty on 1017 FM and 710 Keel.
Good morning. It's 9 past 6, 1017 FM, 710 Keel. Traffic starting us off for Wednesday. Here's Ruben.
Everything's still running nice and smooth for your early morning drive to work or school, but look out later on this morning for some traffic delays on Uri Drive and East Kings Highway due to construction. If you have anything to report to us, accidents, hazards, or closures, give us a call at our Planet Fitness Traffic Hotline, 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. Morning sunshine, then clouds and sun for this afternoon and evening with a thunderstorm or two. High 91. Patchy clouds and a low of 72 overnight. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm Heather Zaire.
Woo! 12 past 7 o'clock. Oh, 6 o'clock. Sorry, I was antsy. The mayor will be joining us at 7:10 this morning to talk about the O Dome.
I do need to say, I put something on my Facebook page, and I need to make it really clear that if I win the Powerball jackpot tonight,
Yeah.
I have pledged
Right.
to give the city $30 million for the O Dome. But it's not going to be called the O Dome. There are two conditions.
Little condition. Well, two conditions now.
Two conditions. No, there's two.
Well, there's three because you want a good seat.
Yeah, I want a good seat.
Okay, so what are the other two?
The number one condition is it must be called the EMAC.
Erin McCarty Assembly Center.
Yes, I like that, or Activity Center, whatever you want to call it. Because, Baton Rouge has the PMAC.
Pete Maravich.
Yeah.
Maravich.
I'm giving you the money. I want it to be the EMAC.
EMAC,
Okay?
it's got a ring.
I like it.
I
It's
can
got a
see
ring.
the lights now.
And then I want a penthouse townhouse overlooking the Red River. I want to be able to live in one of the residential complexes with a view and a balcony over the Red River.
1017 FM and 710 Keel. Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty. Okay, so on the Keel on our website at keelnews.com, keelnews.com, sorry, teeth are moving, is the mayor's presentation yesterday to the city council.
Yes.
So convince me it's a good idea.
I was very skeptical and was a no. I was a hell no yesterday. Today, I'm still very skeptical, but I'm more on the side of if somebody walks into your city with 75 or 100 million and says, here you go, you just got to put up 30, and then we're going to have this on your riverfront. You got to look it over.
Who is somebody?
Well, it's a real estate company. It's Corporate Realty out of Birmingham, Alabama.
Right.
And we went to them. They didn't come to us. We went to them through a connection.
I had heard just the opposite, that they had approached the city first.
Nope. City Attorney William Bradford reached out to one of his development friends, apparently in Atlanta, who said, here's the company that does those kind of things. You might want to check them out. He contacted Corporate Realty, apparently, and they have put together this massive complex that includes so much. It includes, of course, the arena for the Pelicans, which would be 2 floors. You'd have office spaces on the bottom. You'd have dressing rooms and, those sorts of things. And then on the top floor, you'd have the basketball court and all that and the other things. You'd have retail center. You would have residential complex. You would have office space. I'm just going to tell you, I've looked.
Hang on just a second. Pardon me. So basically, you've got the Villaggio with a basketball court.
Yeah. You got way more retail space, though. You got more retail space.
Bigger than Villaggio.
And you have a riverfront, dude.
Bigger than...
We do not get in this community the value of that riverfront property. That's one of my big questions. Do we still own that property, or will this realty company own it?
How much riverfront property can you see from inside a basketball arena?
I'm just telling you.
My question to you is...
when you build me a home overlooking the river, I'm down.
So you literally would be one of the first to sign up.
I would buy a home if I'm overlooking the river.
Why don't you buy a home overlooking the river now?
Because I don't want a big old sprawling home. I want like a townhouse. If they're building a high-rise with townhouses or something,
3,000 square feet.
That's all I need. Here's my problem. I've looked at the proposal. KEELnews.com's got the full length. They're putting the residential away from the river. They're actually putting a parking area on the river. They need to flop that. Because you know and I know thousands of us in Shreveport-Bossier go to the beach for vacation. We go to Gulf Shores. I always, and the vast majority of the people I hang with, we want to be on the Gulf front. I don't want to be across the street. I don't want to have a partial view.
Are you likening?
I want to be on the water.
Are you likening, and I think it's a grand idea, are you likening the view of the Red River and the 10 feet of sand between the end of the river and the rocks and the foliage to Gulf Shores?
No, it's not Gulf Shores, Robert. Don't be an idiot. But I'm just telling you, the value of the real estate goes way up if I'm overlooking a waterway. It goes way up. And to not have the residential space on the waterfront is a huge mistake.
So back to my initial question, and I think it's kind of an important one. Isn't this Villaggio with a basketball court, which has
and a river? Do not forget the river. There is value to that.
Which has not turned out for the city of Bossier anyway the way they anticipated. They thought that would be a retail giant, and bit by bit, one by one. I've got another question. Well,
you have a built-in downtown. Villaggio, you have to make a special trip to go to Villaggio. There's a built-in audience downtown.
Let me ask you this. What's the difference between this and the boardwalk with a basketball court?
There's no housing at the boardwalk. There's not a lick of housing. We have so limited housing on that riverfront. It stuns me. Every time I drive up and down either parkway, I think all this city-owned land, and we haven't put any residential overlooking this beautiful river. We have lost an opportunity. I think we really have. Now, you're going to think I'm sounding like I'm pitching this. I'm not pitching it. I still am very skeptical, and I still look at that Red River District, and I think, man, the Red River District, we were all psyched about. This is going to be great, great, great. Well, the Red River District's been a boondoggle.
So, what's the difference between the boardwalk?
I've just told you. You're not listening.
So, housing is the whole thing.
Housing is the whole thing. You're going to have a big arena for a basketball team, and you have a built-in audience. You have a downtown business community. They want to go to lunch. They want to have meetings. They want to bring in their corporate teams. They want to it's going to have a big hotel, too.
Miss Ollie joins us just after 7 o'clock this morning. She will tell us more, give us numbers, and answer all the questions. In the meantime,
put the housing on the water.
The questions you want to have asked. Anything you want us to ask the mayor.
Yes, if you want to ask her something, yes.
Shreveport Security Systems text line is 318-392-1884. That's 318-392-1884. Text us your questions. We will throw them in the hopper with all of ours. 19 past 6, 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, 2 days till vacation. Traffic, here's Ruben.
Everything's still running nice and smooth for your early morning drive to work or school, but look out later on this morning for some traffic delays on Uri Drive and East Kings Highway due to construction. If you have anything to report to us, accidents, hazards, or closures, give us a call at our Planet Fitness Traffic Hotline, 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. Sun this morning, clouds and sun this afternoon and evening with a thunderstorm or two, high 91. Partly cloudy, low 72 overnight. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm Heather Zaire.
Good morning, 21 past 6 o'clock, Keel Sports. Here's Fletch.
Good morning from the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger. This is Tim Fletcher. The Shreveport City Council voted 5-2 in favor of a resolution that will allow Mayor Ollie Tyler to work on securing the bonds needed to pay for a multi-purpose arena that would be used as the lure for the New Orleans Pelicans to place their minor league team in Shreveport. In addition, officials from Corporate Realty, a Birmingham master planner group, unveiled the plans for a mixed-use development. This would include stores, a hotel, apartments, and offices. This portion of the proposal is expected to cost over $100 million and would be privately financed. In addition, there would be space allotted north of the downtown Hilton to build a pair of football fields just in case the city could work out a deal for the New Orleans Saints to move training camp to Shreveport. Rick Holland told us the team is very interested. They would actually use the Hilton for player accommodations and could turf the convention center to make it their indoor facility. Ed Orgeron ended a budding drama in training camp by naming Danny Etling the starting quarterback for LSU, not just for the season opener against BYU on the 2nd of September, but the entire season, barring injury. From the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger, this is Tim Fletcher.
Twenty-four past 6 o'clock, Robert and Erin, 101.7 FM, 710 Keel. Ollie Tyler joins us just after 7 o'clock. So, for somebody who's not completely sold on this, you sound pretty sold on this.
Nope, not sold on it. Absolutely not sold on it. I do like some of the components of it. I really do like some of the components. I do think there are lots of questions. There are lots and lots of questions. You can see this full report, and I urge you to go look at it. It's at KEELnews.com. Just click on the post. The link to the mayor's full plan is in there with all the pictures and renderings and the facts and figures.
And who doesn't love an occasional rendering?
The private investment totals this, and let me just read it to you. The hotel would be the private company would spend $30 million.
Tell everybody who this is again.
The company is called Corporate Realty out of Birmingham, Alabama.
And they've done this kind of thing before in other markets.
Yes, apparently they have some expertise in this area. We reached out to them as a partial partner.
How many?
Now, are they going to actually own the land? I don't know. That's a question I need to ask.
How many other developers did we reach out to get estimates of cost, to get evaluations on what might and might not work?
Good question.
Go ahead.
We'll have to ask the mayor. $30 million to be spent on a hotel. A multifamily residential would be $54 million.
Apartments, not.
I need to ask that because I was told that there are going to be some like townhouse type deals, but I don't know that you'll own them.
So it's rentals.
Yeah, I'm not sure that you'll own them. I don't know. We'll have to ask. That's the big question. The ownership of the property to me is a big question. You just don't give up.
I would imagine we're giving it away.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But who owns it if you say you don't build this hotel, you promise to build the hotel? Do I get the whole land back?
Well, here's another question then.
Wait, let me finish the numbers real quick.
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
$54 million on residential, $40 million on office space, $15 million on retail and restaurant. That's well over $140 million.
Okay, so let's.
And then the city's money that we would spend is $30 million
that we'd borrow.
Mm-hmm.
Assume for the moment, and here's another question, and I don't remember if I brought this up in the first segment. If certain numbers, if certain dollar goals, if certain amounts aren't reached for retail, for hotel, for fill in the blank, is the city on the hook for any of that?
Good question.
In other words, let's say that we promise whoever builds the apartment building that you're going to have X number of tenants and make, let's say, just pull a number out of my butt. Let's say you're going to make $500,000 the first year.
I can't imagine the city would be on the hook for that. That would be silly. Whoever signs that is an idiot.
And yet, deals like that are done all the time.
That would not be part of this, and I would be shocked.
I think that's a question we should ask.
Yeah, the whole plan of the estimated events is on the website, too.
If the developer doesn't make a certain amount of money by year 3 or 5, are we on the hook and say, screw it, we're not, this isn't working, we're out of here? And they've put up, say, $100 million, and they lose. They say, look, we've lost $75 million. Who pays that? Do they just eat the $75 million?
Good question.
Or
I don't know.
Are we on the hook for all, for 20%, for 50%?
I'm not sure.
I have no idea.
I'm really looking forward to it. It has a big flaw in my view. A, I want to talk about the property ownership. B, the residential is too far from the river. Put the residential over on the river. Move the parking away from the river.
Is to you the residential the priority to make this work?
No.
Then you ain't going to be down on the river.
Getting the Pelicans here is key. But it's silly to have a parking area with a view of the river. Put that somewhere else. Put the homes. I'm just telling you, they don't get this. Somebody doesn't get this. Views of that river are prime. And if we have it available, it is going to be a huge area that we can market.
And watch the tires wash up on shore.
Oh, hush.
A meth lab.
Oh
my God.
Dead bodies is next, Robert.
I was
Stop
about to say, being further away, it looks better from a distance.
No. That anybody will tell you if you've got waterfront property and the advantage of using it, use it.
How developed is it right now? If that's true, how developed is our waterfront right now?
The problem with that is the city owns most of the waterfront.
629, 1017 FM, 710 Keel. Erin has local news in a second or two. Here's traffic. Here's Ruben.
I-49 South's got it clear all the way to Alexandria right now, but look out later on this morning for some traffic delays on I-20 westbound near Spring and Market. If you have any accidents, hazards, or closures to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. Sun this morning, clouds and sun this afternoon and evening with a thunderstorm or two, high 91. Partly cloudy, low 72 overnight. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm Heather Zayer.
of information. KEEL News now.
The Shreveport City Council, with a 5-2 vote, approves a proposal to potentially build a $100 million plus sports and retail complex in downtown Shreveport. It would be home to the New Orleans Pelicans G League team and would feature shops, recreational areas, office space, and residential. Another component could involve the Saints.
As Will mentioned, the Benson family also owns the Saints. We know the Saints are looking to do and are interested in a new practice facility. We wanted to make sure that we planned for and protected that inside of our planning module in this conceptual mixed-use plan.
The council could take a final vote on the proposal in 2 weeks. The only council members to vote no yesterday, James Fleury and William Bradford. Bossier Parish Schools held a groundbreaking celebration for the new $47 million Benton High School. The new school will be built in the area behind Kingston Elementary. The new facility will be able to hold 1,450 students with room for expansion if needed. Lawmakers talk finances and the fiscal cliff. Matt Parker with that.
Legislators from all over the state gathered at the Municipal Auditorium in Shreveport to discuss the financial future of Louisiana. One of the major topics of discussion is whether or not to keep the temporary 1-penny sales tax hike on the books. Both Ryan Gaddy and Cedric Glover said they were against keeping the tax. However, Speaker of the House Taylor Barra says that the tax should at least be considered until the state finds more solid financial footing. From 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL, I'm Matt Parker.
Governor John Bel Edwards says state officials are monitoring the disturbance in the Gulf named Harvey. GOSEP is setting up their crisis action team. The governor made the comments following a meeting with new FEMA Administrator Brock Long and New Orleans Mayor Mitch Landrieu. Edwards says there is good news every day about New Orleans' increasing pumping capacity and power generation when it comes to dealing with potential flooding.
And obviously there is a window of time where there's more vulnerability than we would like, but there is no reason for the people of New Orleans to be panicked at all.
He says the storm could hit southeast Texas sometime Friday as a Cat 1 hurricane, so southwest Louisiana should be on alert. President Trump blaming the media for the widespread condemnation of his response to violence at a Charlottesville protest organized by white supremacists. At a political rally in Phoenix, he unabashedly acknowledged that he was defying his advisors' recommendations to stick to the script and appear presidential. LSU proud of its new live mascot, Mike 7, which came from a rescue facility in Florida. When Mike 6 passed away, the school rejected offers from breeders. Instead, LSU system president F. King Alexander says they wanted to save a tiger that didn't have a permanent home.
He is here in a situation as a tiger that perhaps faced some impending doom down the road after he turns 5 years old.
You have to really see this to believe it. A woman is caught on videotape shoplifting bottles and bottles of liquor from Thrifty Liquor on Burt Coons. She actually walked out with 18 bottles of alcohol stuffed in her pants, bra, and purse. She did pay for one bottle. You can see the full video on our website, KEELnews.com. Partly cloudy today. We will have some sunshine, maybe some rain moving in. 91 for the high. Right now it's 76. I'm Erin McCarty on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
So 1017 FM, 710 Keel. Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty, 635.
I know where he's going, and I'm scared.
No. I just have a couple of questions
I know
about
you
how
do.
many bottles of was it hard liquor? Was it wine?
There was some wine. There was some hard liquor. There was a variety.
Party pack, as it were.
I mean, maybe she's planning a wedding. I don't know.
Where did you hide the pony keg?
Don't ask.
Okay, so a woman, and if
Yeah.
you've seen the video, not a gymnast, not a tiny woman,
No.
goes into the thrifty liquor on Bert Coons.
Mm-hmm. She's a curvaceous young lady.
And zaftig is the term.
Okay, thanks.
And during her tour of the facility,
yeah,
she manages to insert into her clothing how many bottles?
18 bottles of alcohol.
Okay.
In
so,
her pants,
wait,
in her.
Here's a woman with 18 wine or liquor bottles stuffed in her clothes.
And I'm not talking about those little airplane bottles now. I'm talking about full-size bottles.
Let me say, I just want to walk through this so that, you know me, Mr. IQ of 84.
Yeah.
I'm a little slow here. Okay. So a woman, a little on the girthy side.
She's curvaceous.
Walks up to the checkout counter.
Yes, she did.
Carrying one bottle, but with 18 bottles stuffed inside her pants and top.
Yeah, pretty much.
And pays for the one bottle.
Yes, she did.
Walks out.
Waddles out.
And she's still on the large, so to speak.
She is on the large. On the lamb.
So my question, if it is, if she's
That poor
on the
lamb.
it's a dead lamb.
Bada bing! He's here all week.
So it's veal, actually. So
Wow, no doubt.
How did and look?
How's the clerk not? But you know, Robert, you cannot. If a clerk asked me, "Hey, lady, your pants are looking kind of bulgy," I'd be like, give me your supervisor."
You're a bit lumpy this evening. Anything you want to tell us?
You can't ask a lady if she's lumpy.
Let me see if I've got this right. If you had 18 bottles of liquor stuffed in your clothes, and someone was suspicious and said, the clanking is making you a bit conspicuous, your response would be, I'm going to stay here longer and complain to your boss?
While you go get the boss, I'm leaving. You know, but you can't question a woman about your body looks funny.
So how do you question anyone? How does an employee? And I got to tell you, I go to Thrifty with some degree of regularity.
Yes.
Got to get the box wine for watching the Notebook.
I know.
Every time I go in there, there's a private security guard on duty.
They must not have had one in there at the time, is all I can say.
Or maybe she's a very nimble young lady.
And at
Maybe
no
so.
point did the clerk, the cashier, think, the clinking noise, no alarm, no pun intended, was set off.
No alarm set off. You know the admirable thing about this woman?
What?
She paid for a bottle. She
Yeah,
bought a bottle.
Yeah.
Now, it's probably the cheapest one she could find, but she bought a bottle of booze and walked out with 18 bottles slammed down her
Where can one
pants.
see? Is this video on our website?
Yes, it is.
KeelNews.com, 639. Traffic update coming up right now. More on the mayor and the mayor's $100+ million. You know, the price just keeps getting higher and higher. By the way, Miss Ollie joins us just after 7 o'clock. Here's Ruben.
Everything's still running nice and smooth for your early morning drive to work or school, but look out later on this morning for some traffic delays on Uri Drive and East Kings Highway due to construction. If you have anything to report to us, accidents, hazards, or closures, give us a call at our Planet Fitness Traffic Hotline, 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. Morning sunshine, then clouds and sun for this afternoon and evening with a thunderstorm or two. High 91. Patchy clouds and a low of 72 overnight. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm Heather Zayer.
19 from 7 o'clock, 101.7 FM, 710 Keel. Shreveport Mayor Ollie Tyler joins us at about 10 past 7 o'clock.
Questions for the mayor? You can put them on our Facebook page.
Let's go there.
Text them to us.
What do you see?
Hold on, let me get on the Facebook page. There was a lot of people commenting about their likes and dislikes of the plan.
If you are just joining us, you can see the mayor's proposal for look.
People want to know the text line. They're asking that.
318-392-1884. The Shreveport Security Systems text line is 318-392-1884. Miss Ollie joins us just after 7 o'clock. Okay, so it started off, and there was all this talk about a $30 million sports arena.
First, it was $25 million.
30 million. Then we hear, no. There's going to be more stuff involved. There's going to be housing. There's going to be apartments and a retail area and all sorts of cool stuff. And now it's going to be $100 million, and the city's going to put up 30. We're going to borrow 30. And these people from Birmingham, these developers, going to come in and put up 70 million more.
It's more than that now.
Now it's in excess of $100 million.
Yeah, it's $100 million for them, $30 million for us. And it keeps growing. It keeps growing. It's going to be it's going to be, of course, the arena for the Pelicans. It's going to be office space, retail space, residential space. It's entertainment, a lot of stuff.
In a market with declining gambling revenue, is there a demand for one more great big hotel without a casino attached? We already have one downtown. We've already got the Hilton. The city's already in the hotel business.
Yeah. You know, I don't know.
And is that going to be the last to be put up? The last thing to go will be the hotel? I don't know.
Don't know the order. Don't know the plan.
What's the time frame?
It'd be up and going for the 2019 season for the Pelicans if we get the team. It would be up and built and in time for the arena to be open for the fall of 2019.
2 years away.
Yes. I'm excited a little bit about residential space overlooking the Red River. I think that is very appealing. But there's a lot of due diligence that needs to be done between now and September 12th when the council takes the final vote. Now, there were only 2 council members voting no. Willie Bradford and James Fleury voted no from jump.
What did Mr. Fleury tell us yesterday about his constituents' phone calls?
95.
He said he had not received a single call.
Our poll at KEELnews.com that's up. You can look on one of the earlier posts. I'll repost it here in a minute. It's like 95% no. 95% say no.
Why do you think that so many people, look, when you talk to your friends, be blunt, be honest. Mine don't think it's a very good idea.
Mine don't either. They think we have too many other needs, too many other priorities. But I want you to think about it like this, and I'm not, please don't say Erin's pushing the arena. If you have a developer.
It's okay to push the arena if you think it's a good idea.
I don't yet. I'm not sold yet. But if you have a developer that comes to the table with $100 million, say, all I need you to do, Miss Ollie, is see that land on the Red River? I want to develop that. Here's $100 million. Here's what I can help you do. And you have to put up $30 million to lure an NBA G League team here and all that comes with that.
What comes with that?
The Benson machine. I mean, the Benson machine is not the Gleibermans. This is not the Gleibermans, okay? The Benson machine is a machine. And that comes with jobs. That comes with, he will make sure it's a success. He does a lot behind the scenes. His team, anyway, he's no longer doing it. But if you've got a carrot dangling out there of $100 million, you've got property you would love to develop that we voted on in '95 to develop, and it's still not developed. And you're supposed to develop it, and now you've got a company dangling this carrot, and you've got an NBA team dangling another carrot. And all you got to put up is $30 million?
Are basketball fans in Shreveport crying out for a minor league?
Nope. But you have to realize, if I had to tell you what is Shreveport's sport, what is the sport in Shreveport?
Obviously hockey.
No.
Or high school football.
High school football would be up there, but basketball is a huge growing sport in our town.
One of the problems the Mudbugs have had, and one that they deal with constantly, is going up against high school football and LSU football.
You bet.
What makes this different? If there's a Friday night game, how are the Pelicans minor league team going to compete against high school football any more successfully than do the Mudbugs. Understand, how do you think Tommy Scott feels this morning, Mudbugs owner? Right now, he has a franchise that they were second in the league in attendance last season in their league.
Yes.
2,750 to 2,800 people a night. Right now, the city is going to give money, give property. They're going to invest $30 million in an arena that he has a team that could nearly fill it up every single night they have a game.
I'm sure he's a little bit nervous.
I'd be a little bit pissed.
I was a little bit pissed when I saw Tim Brando get up at the meeting yesterday and say, and he was critical of all the past teams in the past, and he said all of those previous teams had either league issues or ownership issues. If I was the Taylor Moore family, who invested their life and their sweat and everything they had into the Shreveport Captains, and they had a major league, team, farm team. They had a major league farm team. I would consider the Taylor Moore family a very good ownership family. And yet you had Tim Brando get up and criticize either you had a problem with the league or you had a problem with the ownership for all of our past issues.
The reason the original incarnation of the Mudbugs folded was they lost, and this is the story, this is the thing, nobody really ever talks about this, is they lost 3 consecutive off seasons. Off season is when you do your corporate bill, your corporate selling, your season ticket sales, all sorts of stuff like your community marketing.
Right.
And they lost 3 consecutive off seasons too. First of all, they didn't have a general manager for one of those.
Right.
Second of all, they didn't know if there was going to be a league. And third time, they didn't know if there was going to actually be an owner. That was when Tommy Scott stepped up.
My big questions today, who retains ownership of the land and put the residential overlooking the river?
Although you're not going to live there.
I will be happy to live there.
No, if not, you're gonna move into an apartment.
I'd move into a nice townhouse overlooking the river.
Would you rent or do you want to own? You own now. You're not gonna rent.
I might.
For a second home after you win the lottery.
I might, yeah.
648, 1017 FM, 710 Keel. Mayor Ollie Tyler joins us just after 7 o'clock this morning. In the meantime, traffic and weather and your money now coming up next on Keel.
Everything's still running nice and smooth for your early morning drive to work or school, but look out later on this morning for some traffic delays on Uri Drive and East Kings Highway due to construction. If you have anything to report to us, accidents, hazards, or closures, give us a call at our Planet Fitness Traffic Hotline, 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. Sun this morning, clouds and sun this afternoon and evening with a thunderstorm or two, high 91. Partly cloudy, low 72 overnight. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm Heather Zayer.
8 before 7 o'clock, Keel Sports. Here's Fletch.
Good morning from the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger. This is Tim Fletcher. The Shreveport City Council voted 5-2 in favor of a resolution that will allow Mayor Ollie Tyler to work on securing the bonds needed to pay for a multi-purpose arena that would be used as the lure for the New Orleans Pelicans to place their minor league team in Shreveport. In addition, officials from Corporate Realty, a Birmingham master planner group, unveiled the plans for a mixed-use development. This would include stores, a hotel, apartments, and offices. This portion of the proposal is expected to cost over $100 million and would be privately financed. In addition, there would be space allotted north of the downtown Hilton to build a pair of football fields just in case the city could work out a deal for the New Orleans Saints to move training camp to Shreveport. Rick Holland told us the team is very interested. They would actually use the Hilton for player accommodations and could turf the convention center to make it their indoor facility. Ed Orgeron ended a budding drama in training camp by naming Danny Etling the starting quarterback for LSU, not just for the season opener against BYU on the 2nd of September, but the entire season, barring injury. From the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger, this is Tim Fletcher.
Erin just said, and if you've seen the video at keelnews.com, it's awesome.
It is awesome.
Did I say 101.7 FM and 710 Keel? Did I say that already? I don't remember.
You can see it on our Facebook page, too.
Yeah. The lady who's at Thrifty Liquor on Bert Coons, who is jamming 18 liquor bottles into her bottoms and top, and then pays for one and leaves.
Yeah.
I hate to impugn the competence of anyone behind the counter, but I don't know. I might have noticed. Just saying.
Yeah.
And then Erin said, I wonder how many bottles of liquor I could stuff into my pants. And I said, probably not more than 5. And she said, oh, no more than that.
Oh,
and then she made the comment that the lady in the video is wearing these big baggy pants. And Matt said, oh, no. She's wearing yoga pants. Okay? She's wearing white yoga pants.
Don't remind me.
She's wearing a tank top. How does she get those down in her cleavage?
There's
between the folds. I don't know. But, I mean, she is not a small woman.
I've heard of the pencil test, but never the vodka test.
And the 18 total bottles. Pays for one, walks to the cashier, pays for one, clanks out, and heads for the hills.
Wow.
Bet she's asleep right now.
Oh, man.
6:56, here's Rush on Keel.
Far-left mayor of New York City, Bill de Blasio, is a bitter critic of President Trump. He recently vowed that New York will remain a sanctuary city no matter what the president or the attorney general says. Apparently, some New York City cops see things differently. The mayor had ordered that federal immigration officials are to be contacted only when an illegal immigrant is accused of a violent crime. The recently two nonviolent illegal immigrants were given up to ICE by the New York Police Department. One of these illegals, the guy deported in the past, was accused of rubbing up against a woman on the subway, a misdemeanor. The other guy has a standing deportation order and is accused of burglary. The NYPD reportedly alerted ICE of their court appearances. A police department spokesman tried to downplay the whole thing, insisting that de Blasio's sanctuary policies were not compromised. We don't know what'll happen to the cops who ratted out the bad hombres. Depends on how vindictive the mayor is. But we have learned something. While rubbing up on women in subways and burglary may not be big deals to the mayor of New York, there are still some cops who take those things seriously. Thank goodness. It still doesn't resolve the problem, however, that New York is trying to harbor bad guys to the detriment of their own population. Go figure.
Did you know that over 90% of male enhancement pills are virtually the same thing that's repackaged, redone over and over again? Why settle for the same old product when you can get something completely different? Something that takes male enhancement into the 21st century. Something that really works. Men, you need to try Noxitril, the explosive, all-natural male enhancement formula that will unlock your performance in the bedroom to a level you could only dream of. Try to imagine Viagra on steroids. Noxitril is so powerful, that's why it took years for it to finally become available to the public without a prescription. So call now and take advantage of our special Noxitril free bottle offer today. Oh yeah, we recommend that you use the Noxitril dose as directed. Think of your partner. We certainly don't want you to overperform in the bedroom.
Call now and find out how to get a free bottle of Noxitril while supplies last. Call 1-800-605-1673. Free bottles for a limited time, so call now. 800-605-1673. That's 800-605-1673.
Looking right now at a spot of slow-moving traffic on I-220 eastbound near North Market due to construction. And we have some slow-moving traffic on Shed Road and Airline Drive in Bossier City. If you know something we don't, accidents, hazards, or closures, give us a call at our Planet Fitness Traffic Hotline, 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. Sun this morning, clouds and sun this afternoon and evening with a thunderstorm or two, high 91. Partly cloudy, low 72 overnight. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm Heather Zayer.
Breaking news and trending talk. This is 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL. KEEL, Shreveport.
Good morning, 3 past 7 o'clock, 101.7 FM, 710 Keel. Robert and Erin. Erin, local news. Hang on, it's coming up next.
Talking more about that big sports complex for Cross Bayou. That's coming up. A woman, she puts some bottles of booze in her pants. A lot of them. We'll tell you more about that. And what Louisiana star should replace Confederate statues? Think about it a minute.
Shreveport Mayor Ollie Tyler in less than 10 minutes. Still time for your questions on the Keel Facebook page and the Shreveport Security Systems text line 318-392-1884. Fletcher Sports, traffic and weather, and the mayor all this hour on Keel.
The Keel Morning Report, now on 101.7 FM and 710 Keel.
The Shreveport City Council, with a 5-2 vote, has approved a proposal to potentially build a $100 million plus sports and retail complex downtown Shreveport across Bayou. The complex would be home to the New Orleans Pelicans G League team and would feature shops, recreational areas, residential, and office space.
We have ground level retail along the ground levels along the main streets, which McNeil would run in front of the sports complex. And then we'll have some new streets that will be created as part of this complex.
The proposal also says the new complex would generate millions of dollars in revenue and create hundreds of jobs. The city's cost about $30 million. Corporate Realty out of Birmingham, Alabama would foot the bill for more than $100 million. Now, if the Pelicans choose Shreveport for the home, the arena would be built and opened by November of 2019. You really have to see this one to believe it. A woman is caught on videotape shoplifting bottles of liquor from Thrifty Liquor on Burt Coons. She actually walked out with 18 bottles of booze stuffed in her pants, bra, and purse. She did pay for one bottle, but she's still on the run. You can see the video on our website, KEELnews.com. With growing controversy surrounding Confederate monuments in the state, one resident has made it her mission to replace those statues with statues of Britney Spears. Casey Thibodeau of Rain, Louisiana, says Spears is a Louisiana hero and someone who should be celebrated. So far, Thibodeau's petition on change.org has been signed by more than 2,000 people. Work beginning on the new Benton High School. Matt Parker with that.
Bossier Parish Schools held a groundbreaking celebration for the new $47 million Benton High School. The new school will be built in the area behind Kingston Elementary. The new facility will be able to hold 1,450 students with room for expansion if needed. The school is scheduled to be open in the fall of 2019. From 101.7 FM and 710 Keel, I'm Matt Parker.
Governor John Bel Edwards says state officials are monitoring the disturbance in the Gulf of Mexico named Harvey, and GOSEP is setting up their crisis action team today. Impact in New Orleans with all the flood issues there? Well, Mayor Mitch Landrieu says the city, while improving mitigation efforts every day, will still be vulnerable until a target date of around September 4th.
After that, based on the engineering work that's done, we should be not only back to where we were, but actually in a better circumstance. But that is a day-to-day thing.
Landry says the storm could hit southeast Texas sometime Friday as a Category 1 hurricane. People all over the state are rushing to get a Powerball ticket as tonight's jackpot has reached $700 million with a cash value of $443 million. Partly cloudy today, the high temp about 91 degrees, right now 77. I'm Erin McCarty on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
Nine past 7 o'clock. KEEL traffic. Here's Rapid Ruben.
Looking right now at a spot of slow-moving traffic on I-220 eastbound near North Market due to construction. And we have some slow-moving traffic on Shed Road and Airline Drive in Bossier City. If you know something we don't, accidents, hazards, or closures, give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline, 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. Morning sunshine, then clouds and sun for this afternoon and evening with a thunderstorm or two. High 91. Patchy clouds and a low of 72 overnight. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm Heather Zayer.
Good morning. It's 11 past 7 o'clock. Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty, 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL. Shreveport Mayor Ollie Tyler is joining us. Hey, Miss Ollie, how are you? Thanks for taking time for us.
Good morning, Robert. How are you?
I'm excellent, ma'am. You got your vote yesterday, 5-2 at the City Council. Phase 1, the first battle goes to Miss Ollie. What happens now?
Well, and let me just say first this morning that I have with me Attorney William Bradford. He is on the team that we took to New Orleans, and I want to make sure that we can get information to our publics and educate them. Good morning, Erin.
Morning to you, Miss Ollie.
Is she there this morning?
Yes, I'm here. How are you?
Hello?
Yeah, I'm here. Can she not hear me, Matt?
I did not initially.
All right.
So, sometimes we have these problems when I call you guys.
Yes.
I just want to make sure that you're there.
I am definitely here. This is a project for Cross Bayou, long time coming. I know you've been working on this behind the scenes.
Yes.
First off, let's talk about the land.
Okay, let's talk about it, Erin. If I can, let me tell you, the Cross Bayou corridor is not just Ollie Tyler thing because it's a Shreveport thing.
You bet.
It is in the 2016 Great Expectations Master Plan. And, I've gone into that plan and pulled out projects that this whole community thought we needed to do in order to show a progressive city. So I want to clear that up, okay?
Yeah, we voted on that in 95, right?
Something like that.
Yeah.
Back in the 90s. And so we have done a lot of things just to make sure that we're moving ahead. They told me when I started running for mayor that we had this outstanding citizens group, about 1,000 people of across this city that came together to develop that Great Expectations Master Plan. But the plan seemed to have been sitting on the shelf, in my opinion, and some of those things were being implemented, but we're trying to execute on those things.
This is a pretty big dream.
It is.
Let me ask you about corporate realty. Can you tell me what we know about corporate realty, how they came to the table? And they've got a big wallet, apparently.
They got a big what now?
Wallet.
Oh, well, let me tell you, I'm going to ask Attorney Bradford to talk about that. They invest in places where, and what we've discovered about them is that they have invested in places where they know the market is great, and, they're in business too, but they have a proven track record. Attorney Bradford?
Yes, ma'am. Good morning, everyone.
Morning, Mr. Bradford. Tell us how corporate realty came to the table.
When the
excuse me, pardon me, Mr. Willie. Excuse me.
The mayor instructed us to really find the best folks.
Mr. Willie, stop. Hang on just a second.
Okay.
You're on the speaker, and we can just barely hear you. If you could get on the handheld, that would be awesome. I apologize.
All right. How's this? Is this better?
That's a ton better. Thank you.
Much better.
Okay, no problem. So when the city of Shreveport was offered the opportunity to respond to the RFP, the mayor tasked us with finding the best people to help us accomplish a response. Corporate realty, I was put in touch with them through one of my law school contacts. Again, in my business, we make a lot of relationships. We make sure we touch a lot of people. And so he had the inroads to get me in contact with him. I met with their principal, talked to their principal, CEO Robert Simon, did some due diligence on their company. I've seen their portfolio, seen their Rolodex of business and the buildings that they've created and the developments that they've created down in the southeastern region, and felt a comfort level to introduce them to the mayor and to move that relationship forward. But I made sure to instill with them that, at this point, because of how expedited this process and response time was with the New Orleans Pelicans, that they would have to take this on as an investment themselves if they wanted to participate moving forward. And so Mr. Simon went back to his shop and did his due diligence, looked at our market, and decided that Shreveport would be a good investment for him. And they have taken the reins and helped to steer this ship towards a good, successful response. I think it was very impressive. The New Orleans Pelicans even commented that our response was one of the only response that received not one but two standing ovations while we presented to them. And so they have the experience level. They've shown what they can do, especially in the Birmingham area. The Birmingham Barons have seen a resurgence there. They've actually brought back, along with the city of Birmingham, a team that has revitalized their downtown and shown great growth down there. And so, when you speak with those individuals, with Mr. Simon and his group, you'll see that they employ the best, they work with the best, they know the best, and so that's the kind of team we want to bring to the table for development that is this important.
Mr. Willie, let's start with a couple of money questions. Question number one, the city's on the hook. We're going to borrow about $30 million. Walk us through that process.
Sure, and again, let me tell you, William Bradford, just want to make sure you all know it's. I'm working with the mayor, the city attorney.
This is the city attorney,
right,
William,
I understand.
not Willie.
Okay. I apologize. Please continue.
No problem at all. But what we're asking the citizens to see is that we're asking for money that has already been dedicated for this purpose. The B4 Riverfront Fund is money dedicated for the purpose of development of economic development along Cross Bayou and the Red River. And so this money is essentially a stopgap for us to construct the facility. The facility is designed to be self-sustaining for its operational costs, okay? And so utilizing monies that are already available, that are designated for that purpose, continue to promote the ideals of the city of Shreveport. And so it's a multi-step process. The process that occurred yesterday was the first introduction of a resolution and ordinance to allow for the hiring of professionals needed to issue bonds if the city chooses to elect to move forward with the project.
And let me just piggyback on that, Erin and Robert, and say when I've spent a lot of time with the experts at the table that we brought to the table, and anybody can go and research and see what kind of company it is. And that's what people do. Instead of speculating, we're trying to present facts and try to educate people. When we check Corporate Realty out, these people are solid. They have the wherewithal to be able to do development and bring a lot of credibility to the table.
I checked them out too, and I wasn't able to find anything negative. I'm just saying.
Miss Ollie,
absolutely. So we do due diligence, Erin. We try. I mean, we all make mistakes in our lives, and we try to learn from those mistakes. And one of the things that I've learned down through the years as a CEO in education is that when you start dealing with people, and when you start dealing with those folk who trust you to do the right thing for the people you serve, you do due diligence on checking out those people that you bring to the table. So we've done that with Corporate Realty. But let me tell you, with this NBA backing and with the Benson family backing, let me tell you, we have, I think, a win-win. But Shreveport has to believe in Shreveport. Our citizens for so long sit back and say, we can't do this, we can't do that. We have got to believe in ourselves. And let me tell you, this project is so significant for revitalizing this community. Not only will we be investing just to bring in an NBA league, but we're going to be investing in revitalizing throughout this community. We're talking job creation. We're talking opportunities for entrepreneurs. We're talking helping those small businesses that need that lift right now. But I can tell you, the NBA is going to bring to the table a lot of credibility along with the Benson family. So, I mean, we've seen it. We've looked at other leagues in the nation that have taken on this particular kind of, project, and they're being successful. Shreveport can be successful.
Let us ask some questions, Mayor.
Miss Ollie, pardon me, the second money question. The $100 million or more that the incoming builders are going to put up, that they're going to put into the project, at any point could Shreveport be on the hook for any of that money if certain goals, expectations, financial goal lines aren't crossed or met?
Sure. Again, this is William. The project is designed to be only an obligation of the city for the purposes of the sports complex. The outside development, the other development, the $100 million plus development is private dollars. Again, some of you may be familiar with the term public-private partnership. This is precisely what it is. It's an investment by a group who sees a potential opportunity in the city of Shreveport to develop property, and also an investment from the city to develop and anchor a destination. Let's think about what this creates. This actually creates a destination for our area. It's no longer just a place that you can come visit and that you may have one or two events to go to. You can actually spend an entire weekend in this proposed development. That's what it's designed for. It's designed to be a place where you can live, work, play, and stay. You're talking about additional heads and beds. You're bringing people to the area for the purposes of attending events that are much larger than what we currently see at this point. And so, you're going to have the need for, this is something that I really like about Corporate Realty and their approach to how they do business. One of the things that they want to encourage in the development is also the local businesses. They want to encourage local opportunity and education of local contractors and local developers and local operators of small businesses and medium-sized businesses. And
let me ask the mayor this, Mr. Bradford. The actual land, who will then own the land? Is the city essentially selling this land to Corporate Realty?
No.
We still retain ownership.
We own the land, okay?
And we'll own it under this deal.
We've already worked through that situation, and we've got some more things to do, but we own the land. I mean, the development, they'll bring private people to come to the table to do the development, but we'll own the land. And we'll own the sports complex.
And how will we pay back the $30 million revenue bond? Where's that money coming from? Everybody keeps telling you. You hear this everywhere you go. We're broke. We're broke. Where are we going to get the money to pay that back?
That money is generated by ordinance from the riverboats and from downtown additional money. So that money is put into a special revenue account for the purposes of economic development. That is what that account is intended to be used for.
But you and I both know, Mayor, riverboat gambling revenues are down. Ronnie Jones is going to join us in the 8 o'clock hour to talk about how gambling revenues are steady going down. That has to be a concern to you guys.
It is. But let me tell you, Erin, when we bring in this NBA league, that's why they're the anchor tenant. we're going to be generating a lot of money just because they're going to be here bringing in people from across the architects to spend monies in our community. Also, we're going to use that sports complex for all kind of competitions that we are not able to have right now.
And also to piggyback on what the mayor is saying, there's additional revenue streams that are available in a development like this. Again, one of the things we talked about is how that portion, that corridor, is not generating any sales tax revenue. It's not generating any revenue for the city. There are special financing districts that the state law provides for that allows us to create that district and create a baseline and to receive money because of the increased amount of taxes that are generated in that area. So that can be purposed for additional debt service and for improvements against all of the buildings and developments that come up in the Cross Bayou corridor.
And to add to that, we've got people who are interested in actually coming in, being major sponsors, because we got people because of the NBA brand and the Pelican and Benson brand. They want to come in actually and invest with naming rights and so forth and so on. We're going to have different revenue streams coming in. Aaron.
Let me ask y'all this: if the Pelicans
have been catalysts for additional growth, so it's not a one-off development that you're putting in a corridor that stands alone. This is something that is programmed and created to be a spur, a catalyst for downtown growth, to improve your downtown. It makes buildings downtown more marketable. It makes areas around downtown more marketable. It makes areas across the city more marketable because you've created a destination, you're creating growth, you're showing progress. And so outside investors and outside developers begin to take note, as well as your folks at home. You start activating those folks who go home every day and may not have an opportunity or choose not to come out and to explore and use all the resources that the city has available. But when you create that sense of place, that sense of destination, you encourage additional spending throughout your city. And so that will help revenue as well.
If the Pelicans is a no-go, do we still move forward with this development? I mean, our voters want Cross Bayou developed. Do you move forward without the Pelicans in this equation?
I think that Corporate Realty has expressed that they are interested in development throughout downtown Shreveport. Now, it may change the conversation of how that development occurs. I think the Pelicans create an amazing anchor. They create that sense of destination that we're talking about, and so it makes for a very marketable area to go back there. So we absolutely want them here. We want them here as a resource because, again, when you bring an organization like that to your area, you're also bringing along the resources that they provide, and so the access to capital that they have and the access to personnel and people that they have. And so you want to encourage them to come to this area, to bring their brand and to bring the market space that they bring, because that provides additional lift to the area. It provides an avenue that this city has not seen. And so, we want to focus down on actually bringing them here and encouraging a destination like this to be created.
With the Shreveport Convention Center downtown, the Hilton Hotel still being relatively new, isn't there some concern that besides the dates that you'll have for the Pelicans minor league team at the new arena, that for other events that you're sort of competing against yourself?
Well, that was one of the considerations we took into place when we did our due diligence on this. We talked to SMG, who's the management company for the convention center, and so we talked to them about, and the municipal auditorium, hey, we don't want to create something that competes with ourselves. And they said specifically, no, this fills a need that we have in the city of Shreveport. Right now, there is not a mid-sized sports complex in our area. People are driving all the way from Natchitoches and Baton Rouge to Dallas to go to AAU tournaments, to cheer tournaments, to volleyball tournaments. Right now, you fill a void that's in this area. So you start drawing from East Texas, South Arkansas, Mississippi, Longview, Tyler,
Lufkin, Texarkana, Hope, Hot Springs, Little Rock, Monroe, Ruston. We have people who want to come to something like what we're trying to develop. And that NBA league is going to really help us. Now, do we want corporate realty here, whether or not the Pelicans come? Yes. The conversation may change because the NBA league is not just some little minor something. This is a major deal, Robert and Erin. And because they are here and they're going to bring their resources to the table, it is more attractive and I've gotten several different companies that have actually contacted me. They want to be a part of this because they see the potential. They see that this is a place that they can come. Our transportation infrastructure is is awesome. I mean, people want to come to this area. We have a lot of visitors, a lot of events, a lot of all kind of festivals. It's going to even pick up more. That's going to generate a lot of dollars that we can use to help us complete the infrastructure needs that we have in our city. People talk about, we need to just not do this and just go and do infrastructure. Let me tell you, we don't have enough money to do all the infrastructure and address all the needs.
Mayor, can you address those? And I know you're hearing the naysayers, and they're all around you.
Oh, yeah.
The Red River District was a failure. You had the Fairgrounds fail. How do you address all of those people who say we've done these kind of things before, and they've all been failures?
Well, let me tell you what I say. I say that this is a one-time opportunity. It is unlike what people try to compare it to. But, and I'll say what I said last night in an interview. People who are successful had to have some failures before they got to be successful. So if people just stop doing anything, then to me, that is worse than failure. And I can tell you, I believe with this major brand coming to Shreveport, with the NBA League, this is going to really spur that growth that we need. I mean, I think it's a win-win. I think we sell ourselves short. Okay?
Mayor, we thank you enough. Thank you so much for your time. Put the residential overlooking the river. That's just my 2 cents.
Yes, and
I want to see the river.
And that's part of the plan.
And
we
I'm
need
moving
another
down
hotel
there.
Because when we have all these conventions, we just don't have enough hotel rooms on this side of the river. So we're going to be doing all of that. Okay?
Mayor and William Bradford, the city attorney, thank you both for your time. We can't thank you enough. I'm sure we'll discuss this more.
Okay, we plan to. Thank you.
Thanks.
29 past 7 o'clock, 101.7 FM, 710 Keel. Here's Ruben, traffic time.
Keeping an eye on some slow-moving traffic on North Spring Street and East Stoner Avenue. And we have some traffic delays on Shed Road and Swan Lake Road in Bossier City. If you have any accidents, hazards, or closures to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness Traffic Hotline, 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. Morning sunshine, then clouds and sun for this afternoon and evening with a thunderstorm or two. High 91. Patchy clouds and a low of 72 overnight. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm Heather Zaire.
The Shreveport City Council, with a 5-2 vote, approves a proposal to potentially build a $100 million plus sports and retail complex in downtown Shreveport. It would be home to the New Orleans Pelicans G League team and would feature shops, recreational areas, office space, and residential. Another component could involve the Saints.
As Will mentioned, the Benson family also owns the Saints. We know the Saints are looking to do and are interested in a new practice facility. We wanted to make sure that we planned for and protected that inside of our planning module in this conceptual mixed-use plan.
The council could take a final vote on the proposal in 2 weeks. The only council members to vote no yesterday, James Fleury and William Bradford. Bossier Parish Schools held a groundbreaking celebration for the new $47 million Benton High School. The new school will be built in the area behind Kingston Elementary. The new facility will be able to hold 1,450 students with room for expansion if needed. Lawmakers talk finances and the fiscal cliff. Matt Parker with that.
Legislators from all over the state gathered at the Municipal Auditorium in Shreveport to discuss the financial future of Louisiana. One of the major topics of discussion is whether or not to keep the temporary 1 penny sales tax hike on the books. Both Ryan Gaddy and Cedric Glover said they were against keeping the tax. However, Speaker of the House Taylor Barra says that the tax should at least be considered until the state finds more solid financial footing. From 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL, I'm Matt Parker.
Governor John Bel Edwards says state officials are monitoring the disturbance in the Gulf named Harvey. GOSEP is setting up their crisis action team. The governor made the comments following a meeting with new FEMA Administrator Brock Long and New Orleans Mayor Mitch Landrieu. Edwards says there is good news every day about New Orleans' increasing pumping capacity and power generation when it comes to dealing with potential flooding.
And obviously there is a window of time where there's more vulnerability than we would like, but there is no reason for the people of New Orleans to be panicked at all.
He says the storm could hit southeast Texas sometime Friday as a Cat 1 hurricane, so southwest Louisiana should be on alert. President Trump blaming the media for the widespread condemnation of his response to violence at a Charlottesville protest organized by white supremacists. At a political rally in Phoenix, he unabashedly acknowledged that he was defying his advisors' recommendations to stick to the script and appear presidential. LSU proud of its new live mascot, Mike 7, which came from a rescue facility in Florida. When Mike 6 passed away, the school rejected offers from breeders. Instead, LSU system president F. King Alexander says they wanted to save a tiger that didn't have a permanent home.
He is here in a situation as a tiger that perhaps faced some impending doom down the road after he turns 5 years old.
You have to really see this to believe it. A woman is caught on videotape shoplifting bottles and bottles of liquor from Thrifty Liquor on Burt Coons. She actually walked out with 18 bottles of alcohol stuffed in her pants, bra, and purse. She did pay for one bottle. You can see the full video on our website, KEELnews.com. Partly cloudy today. We will have some sunshine, maybe some rain moving in. 91 for the high. Right now it's 76. I'm Erin McCarty on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
737, 1017 FM and 710 Keel. Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty.
And I have a pledge for the city. I'll even raise my right hand. If I win the Powerball tonight, it's $700 million.
Yeah.
I will put up the $30 million out of my Powerball winnings, but I need two conditions met.
What's that?
I need the sports complex where the Pelicans play must be called the EMAC. You have the PMAC in Baton Rouge.
Are they going to call this team? Go ahead, finish your thought.
I want it to be called the EMAC, and then I want
the Erin McCarty Assembly Center.
Or Activity Center, whatever you want to call it.
Sounds pretty good.
I'm good with that. I'm perfectly fine. EMAC has got to be on the front of the building. And then I have to have a penthouse townhouse overlooking the Red River. I want to have a balcony with a view of the Red River.
For $30 million, I would imagine they would do pretty much anything you want.
And maybe a little valet parking here and there. You know, I'm good. And EMAC sounds good, though. It's got a ring to it.
Will the team be called the Shreveport Pelicans? Do you know?
It's up to us, I guess. And the New Orleans Pelicans.
I mean, I'm not totally unfamiliar with the NBA, what was formerly known as the D-League, the Developmental League.
They have different names for most of those teams, though.
Yeah.
Like the Austin, I forget what they're called, but
there's one in Toronto called, and it's the area code that's in Toronto.
Oh, wow.
So
this could be the Shreveport 318s?
That literally would be the equivalent.
Okay.
739, 1017 FM, 710 Keel. Traffic update. Rapid Ruben.
East 70th Street and Line Avenue is dealing with some slow-moving traffic right now. And we have some traffic delays on East Texas Street near Traffic Street in Bossier City. If you have anything to report to us, accidents, hazards, or closures, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline, 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. Morning sunshine, then clouds and sun for this afternoon and evening with a thunderstorm or two. High 91. Patchy clouds and a low of 72 overnight. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm Heather Zayer.
Good morning, 743. Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty, 1017 FM 710 Keel.
Thanks for not calling it the O Dome with the mayor. I appreciate that.
It was difficult, but
I know.
It somehow I managed to keep a lid on my flippancy.
She to put you in timeout.
Shreveport City Councilman Michael Corbin's here. Hey, Mr. Mike, welcome back. How's things?
Good morning, Robert, and my Powerball friend, Erin.
Okay. So yesterday you were there, and at the mayor's presentation, you've seen all the numbers, the figures, the plans. You voted yes. You're my city councilman. I don't have a real problem with that because I think at least we should take a closer look. Let's move forward. Let's see how things develop. Explain your logic, and then Lord knows we've got a lot of other questions.
Yeah, and I agree. I think you kind of summed it up, Robert, is if we have a piece of legislation, especially a project as big as this, we should introduce it and have that conversation. Because yesterday was really the first day this whole proposal has seen the light of day, outside the mayor's office and with individual city council members. So it was a public unveiling yesterday. Obviously, it's extremely complicated. There's a lot of moving parts. And so now the mayor has 3 weeks to get out there and sell this to the public and kind of take their temperature.
Now, pardon me, Mike, does she really have to sell it to the public since it already on some level seems to be sold to the city council, you included?
Well, I think that she does have to sell it. I mean, I have a number of questions still remaining. And as I stated yesterday, I have not had a call or an email. I take that back. I've had one in favor, and the majority or all the rest of them are in no, you can't do this. And I think that comes back to people don't understand what it is. It needs to be fleshed out, and none of that has been done yet.
There has been criticism of the mayor and her plan that sort of she waited so long to announce. It's been in the works for a while that she waited so late to announce the plan to the city council to give you guys only 3 weeks to study and make a final decision. September 12th, I think, is the date. How do you feel about that? Do you think that's valid?
Well, that's not really fair because some of this, a lot of the timeline and the information that could be shared was due to the competitive nature of the bid. And so I have to, take some exception with that. Additionally, conversations with council members have been going on for the past couple months, but a lot of that had to be kept confidential because of the nature of the bid and all of this hinges on the Pelicans coming here, and so it could not be out in an open meeting. But we all did hear new things yesterday and some additional items that we had not previously heard.
Tell us about that. What did you hear that was new?
I think that some of the numbers that we saw, projected revenue numbers, the financing, I was very unclear going in on the financing, and part of my questions got answered with that.
How so? What were you worried? How so? What were you worried about?
I was worried that we were going to base too much of it off the Riverfront Development Fund, and I think that's a fund that has its ups and downs, and we're using it for some other sources. But if we're only relying on that for the first 2 or 3 years, and then we switch over to a taxing district and income from the arena, that makes a little more sense.
But when you say a taxing district, don't we have to approve a tax in that district?
We have a taxing district that already encompasses the riverfront area downtown, and my understanding is the proposal would be to wrap that taxing district around the convention center and across Bayou.
Mr. Mike, at any level does this proposal for the sports arena have anything to do, and we've talked public-private partnerships, we talked that with the mayor and Mr. Bradford earlier this hour. At any level, does any of this have to do with a dissatisfaction of the city's relationship with SMG and the way the convention center is being handled?
No, I don't think so. And any information about that has been shared with me has been that this would enhance the convention center, that they're having to host things like volleyball tournaments right now, that really need to be in a sports arena, and this would open up convention center bays for meeting activities and things like that they're really designed for.
Michael, let me ask you about this. Does this deal, in your mind, hinge on the Pelicans coming?
Oh, certainly. I mean, without the Pelicans, it makes no sense at all. And I think that, even with the Pelicans, certainly I have questions. I know other council members have questions, and the public does. And I think it's very important. Yesterday was the public unveiling and city council meeting, and a very small part of the population got to participate in that.
Do you think yesterday the mayor took a... Go ahead. I'm sorry, Mike. Go ahead.
The mayor's posted it on the city website. That's not going to get it done.
Do you think Miss Ollie? Do you think Miss Ollie yesterday took a major and a solid first step in selling her plan, not only to the council but to the city?
I think it was the first step, and step 2 and 3 are going to be even more critical.
Thank you, Michael Corbin. We appreciate it. Ronnie Jones, who's head of the State Gaming Commission, is going to join us after 8 o'clock. Gaming revenues are still going down.
7:49. Jumping in here, 7:49. Keel traffic update. Here's Ruben.
Looking right now at some super slow-moving traffic on I-20 westbound, starting at Spring and Market. It's backed up past Airline Drive right now. And we have some traffic delays on Centenary Boulevard and Stoner Avenue. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
7:49. Here's your KeelAccuWeather.com forecast. Mostly sunny and hot and humid again today. High today is going to be in the low to middle 90s. Right now, 76 at Keel, 750. It is 8 from 8 o'clock, 101.7 FM and 710 Keel Sports Update. Here's Fletch.
Good morning from the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger. This is Tim Fletcher. The Shreveport City Council voted 5-2 in favor of a resolution that will allow Mayor Ollie Tyler to work on securing the bonds needed to pay for a multi-purpose arena that would be used as the lure for the New Orleans Pelicans to place their minor league team in Shreveport. In addition, officials from Corporate Realty, a Birmingham master planner group, unveiled the plans for a mixed-use development. This would include stores, a hotel, apartments, and offices. This portion of the proposal is expected to cost over $100 million and would be privately financed. In addition, there would be space allotted north of the downtown Hilton to build a pair of football fields just in case the city could work out a deal for the New Orleans Saints to move training camp to Shreveport. Rick Holland told us the team is very interested. They would actually use the Hilton for player accommodations and could turf the convention center to make it their indoor facility. Ed Orgeron ended a budding drama in training camp by naming Danny Etling the starting quarterback for LSU, not just for the season opener against BYU on the 2nd of September, but the entire season, barring injury. From the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger, this is Tim Fletcher.
Wait a second. It's time to go already. 756, 1017 FM, 710 Keel in the 8 o'clock hour. Who's on the way?
We've got Ronnie Jones. He's head of the State Gaming Control Board. Going to talk about gambling revenues.
Why is that important right now?
Because part of this $30 million that the city will have to pay back in this bond issue will be paid back from gambling revenues. Well, those numbers are plummeting.
Gambling revenue, which is decreasing annually. Also, at about 8:40.
We're going to be joined by Shreveport City Councilwoman Stephanie Lynch.
2, 3, 4.
Sorry.
That's all right. It happens to the best of us.
Senior moment.
With liquor in our pants. We have that story, too. 757. Here's Kim Commando. Here's Sean Hannity on Keel.
Turn up your radio. Here's the Sean Hannity Morning Minute.
Washington Times reporting that the DNC email leaks Russia hack theory is now coming under heavy scrutiny. The Times reports that a prominent group of former NSA, CIA officials are claiming that an insider with physical access to the DNC computer network leaked the emails. In other words, it was never hacked by Russia. Now, the research memo compiled by the former officials directly conflicts with the U.S. intelligence community's January claim that it was Russian operatives who orchestrated the cyber attack on the DNC network. One retired CIA official told the Washington Times the intelligence community's assessment and conclusions are a disgrace to the intelligence profession. So what are the Democrats, what are the people in the media going to do when their phony Russia hack narrative falls apart? What's Mueller going to do? And how will the destroy Trump media respond?
Check out the Sean Hannity radio show later today, right here.
Finding great candidates to hire can be, well, like trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along. Which is why you should try ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter is different. It doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them. With its powerful technology, ZipRecruiter distributes your job everywhere it needs to be to find the right candidates. In fact, over 80% of jobs on ZipRecruiter get a qualified candidate in just one day. So, while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, only ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
Used by businesses of all sizes, ZipRecruiter offers the most qualified job candidates with immediate results. And right now you can try ZipRecruiter free. That's right, free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free for your free trial. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
We have reports of a major accident on Lakeshore Drive and Texas Avenue, and we have some traffic delays on Airline Drive near Shed Road in Bossier City. If you know something we don't, accidents, hazards, or closures, give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline at 687-ROAD.
7:59. Here's your KEEL AccuWeather.com forecast. Sunny, hot, humid today, low 90s. It is 76 at KEEL, 8 o'clock. Time for Fox News.
Breaking news and trending talk. This is 101.7 FM and
outstanding citizens group, about 1,000 people of along with the Benson family. Successful.
Let us ask some questions, Mayor.
Miss
We still retain ownership.
We own the land, okay?
And we'll own it under this deal.
That situation, and we've got some more things. That situation, and we've got some more things to do, but we own the land. I mean, the development. You know, they'll bring private people to come to the.
We still own, and we'll own it under this deal. We still retain ownership.
We own the land, okay?
And
We own the land, okay?
And we'll own it under this deal.
That situation, and we've got some more things to do, but we own the land. I mean, the development, you know, they'll bring to do, but we own the land. We own the land. I mean, development, you know, they'll bring. You know, they'll bring private people to come to the table to do the development, but we'll own the land.
That money is generated by ordinance from the riverboats and from down.
To spend monies in our community. Also, we're going to use that sports complex just because they're going to be here bringing in people from across the Arklatex to spend monies in our community. Also, we're going to use that sports complex for all kind of competitions that we are not able to have right now.
And also to
Good morning, 8:03, Robert and Erin, 101.7 FM, 710 Keel. Local news. Who is there? Erin's up next.
The Cross Bayou Sports Complex. We're digging deeper into that. This you have to see to believe. Putting Jack Daniels in her pants.
What?
Yeah, and a big groundbreaking for Bossier Schools.
Okay, Ronnie Jones, state gambling guy, gaming guy, revenue guy. He gives us an update on how much money we in this area are making at the boats. And Congresswoman, well, not yet, Shreveport City Councilwoman Stephanie Lynch, just about 8:42. Fletcher in sports, traffic, and weather all coming up this hour, and it's here on Keel.
again,
because of the NBA brand and the Pelican. And to add to that, we've got people who are interested in actually, we've got people who are interested in actually coming in, being major sponsors. Because, we got people because of the NBA brand and the Pelican and Benson brand, they want to come in actually and invest with naming rights and so forth and so on. We're going to have different revenue streams coming in, Erin.
Let me ask y'all this.
We've got people who are interested in the needs.
Mayor, can you address those? And I know you're hearing the naysayers, and they're all around you.
Oh, yeah.
How do you address all?
Well, let me tell you what I say. I say that this is a one-time. I say that this is a one-time opportunity. It is unlike what people try to compare it to. But and I'll say what I said last night in an interview. People who are successful had to have some failures before they got to be successful. So if people just stop doing anything, then to me that is worse than failure. And I can tell you, and I'll say what I said last night in an interview. People who are successful had to have some failures before they got to be compared to. People try to compare it to. People who are successful had to have some failure. People just stop doing anything, then to me that is worse than failure.
Should be on alert.
But really all over Louisiana, because we don't know yet how widespread the rain bands are going to be and how widespread the different wind effects will be.
Lawmakers from all over the state gathered at Municipal Auditorium to discuss the future of our state. One of the major topics, whether or not to keep the temporary 1-penny sales tax hike on the books. Both Ryan Getty and Cedric Glover said they were against keeping the tax. However, Speaker of the House Taylor Barra says the tax should at least be considered until the state finds more financial footing. Bossier Schools held a big groundbreaking celebration for the new $47 million Benton High School. The new school will be built in the area behind Kingston Elementary. The new facility will be able to hold 1,450 students with room for expansion if needed. The school is set to be open in the fall of 2019. A monument to Britney Spears. It could become a thing. Matt Parker with that.
With growing controversy surrounding Confederate monuments in the state, one resident has made it her mission to replace those statues with statues of Britney Spears. Cassie Thibodeau of Rain, Louisiana says that Spears is a Louisiana hero and someone who should be celebrated. So far, Thibodeau's petition on change.org has been signed by over 2,000 people. From 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL, I'm Matt Parker.
President Donald Trump is blaming the media for the widespread condemnation of his response to violence in Virginia. Protest organized by white supremacists. Now, at a political rally in Phoenix, he unabashedly acknowledged that he was defying his advisors' recommendations to stick to the script and appear presidential. People are rushing out to get a Powerball ticket as tonight's jackpot has reached $700 million. The cash value is $443 million. It's the second largest lotto jackpot in U.S. history. Louisiana Lottery spokesperson Kim Chopin says they've had sales in the Bayou State over $20 million just for this run.
This one actually ranks as the second largest Powerball jackpot ever, just behind that world jackpot of $1.5 billion, which happened in January 2016.
George Clooney donating $1 million to fight hate groups. He's announced the Clooney Foundation for Justice will support the Southern Poverty Law Center with the grant to combat hate groups across the U.S. Sunshine today. A few clouds will be moving in, though. 91 for the high. Right now, 76. I'm Erin McCarty on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
Nine past 8, 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL. Traffic update. Here's Ruben on KEEL.
Still keeping an eye on that heavy backed up traffic on I-20 westbound starting at Spring and Market. It's backed up past Airline Drive right now. And we have reports of a minor accident on East 70th Street and Fern Avenue. If you have any accidents, hazards, or closures to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline, 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. Sun this morning, clouds and sun this afternoon and evening with a thunderstorm or two, high 91. Partly cloudy, low 72 overnight. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm Heather Zaire.
Good morning. It's 12 past 8. Robert J. Wright, Erin McCarty, 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL standing by. Mr. Ronnie Jones, who is the chairman of the state of Louisiana's Gaming Control Board. Hey, Mr. Ronnie, welcome back. Thank you for joining us.
Morning, guys. Glad to be here.
So, I don't know if word of this prospective deal has filtered down to, I guess you're in New Orleans today, but Erin's going to give you kind of an update, and then we got a lot of questions.
We got a proposal on the table here for a development in our community that would bring the New Orleans Pelicans G League team here. It's along our Cross Bayou. It would include it's a $150 million project. It's climbing toward that. And part of the payback, the city's portion would be $30 million. Part of the payback would be coming from, for the first 3 years at least, from gaming revenues. My reason I'm bringing you to the table, Ronnie, is that you keep a close eye on these gambling dollars, and they have steadily gone down and down. And are we seeing that continue?
Yes. Even though the last report to our board from state police was positive, that is, the month of July was a good month. It was a good month all over the state and in Northwest Louisiana. But Julys typically are good months. I tend to look at the longer term trends, and you could basically break down the Shreveport market into its growth period, which lasted from about 94 to 2001. And then there was kind of a flat market period when the tribal casinos began to open in Oklahoma, say between 2001 and 2008. But since 2008, the market has continued to erode in the Shreveport-Bossier area, and that's a concern to us. I was just up there 2 weeks ago meeting with the Shreveport Chamber of Commerce and a group of people on the Bossier side, their Chamber of Commerce, the mayor, to talk about the work of the Riverboat Gaming Task Force, because I think there can be light at the end of the tunnel to help support and promote economic development in the casino industry in Northwest Louisiana.
You know, Mr. Ronnie, last time we spoke, you had made the point, and it was a pretty darn good one, that one of the problems facing casinos, not only, well, specifically the casinos up here, is that we are so limited by size by law, right?
That's correct. That's correct. And when the Riverboat Gaming Law was being discussed and proposed, there was nothing magical about the square footage that they limited the casinos to. I think it was just out of an abundance of caution. The legislature was venturing into a whole new area. One of the recommendations that I believe will come out of the Riverboat Gaming Task Force at the end of the year is to redefine the size of the gaming space. I don't think anybody's interested in expanding gaming in Louisiana. We're not looking at having more casinos or more riverboats or more anything. But I think one of the things that will promote economic development is to redefine that gaming space. If you think about it, in 1992 or 93, the size of the slot machines was all pretty standard and uniform, maybe 24, 26 inches wide. If you walk into a casino today, there may be a Britney Spears 4-seat console that takes up the space of maybe 16 traditional slot machines. So for those casinos to be competitive and bring new players into the market, they have to have new technology. So there has to be a trade-off there. If I decide as a general manager to bring in a 4-seat console, is that going to make up the revenue that's lost from the machines that are moved out of the way? So that's one of the things that's on the table. I'm hopeful that the task force will recommend to the legislature that we redefine the gaming space.
Let me ask you this. Are some of our local boats, last time we talked, you said, they are cutting back, they're trimming. Are any of our local boats in jeopardy in your view?
Well, you have the highest performer, Margaritaville, at one end, and you have Diamond Jacks at the other end. I recently met with the owner, the management of Diamond Jacks. Those guys are trying everything they can to keep the operation running, keep people employed. It's important. They're not making the percentage of profits. They're not bringing in the revenue that their sister properties are, but they're committed to trying to make that a profitable operation. But it's no secret. I mean, the numbers are out there. They're presented every month. They're public. And if you look at the numbers for all of the Shreveport-Bossier market for last calendar year were down. The whole state was down, but the Northwest market was down more than any other region in the state.
So basically, here's where we are, Ronnie. If you were going to invest, say, $30 million or so in something that looked kind of awesome and would have a great return down the line, but you plan to pay for it with gaming revenue, wouldn't you? Would you look twice at that? What would you suggest?
I haven't seen the details on that plan, but I would be very cautious I am hopeful that the task force is going to present a short list of recommendations to the legislature that will promote economic development and some reinvestment in the properties, perhaps to get people on dry land and off boats. That means they'll have to reconfigure space. They'll have to spend money on construction, create new jobs. I think long term we can revive the Shreveport market and contribute to the local economy. But it's not going to happen in the short term. This is going to take legislative action. It's not going to be without controversy, and I suspect, just based on my experience in state police and the gaming board, that there will be some members of the legislative delegation from North Louisiana who do not want to talk about gambling or any changes to gambling. But if we're going to be competitive in this state, in an entertainment industry like gaming, we're going to have to make changes. Last year, gaming surpassed oil and gas in the amount of revenue that comes into the state. I would never have believed that, but that's the case. So we're either going to be a second-run operation, or the legislature will agree to some changes, and we can be competitive again.
Ronnie Jones, Gaming Control Board Chairman, thank you so much for your time.
Absolutely. Glad to be with you guys.
18 past 8 o'clock, 101.7 FM, 710 Keel.
Shreveport Councilwoman Stephanie Lynch is joining us at 8:40. We'll hear her take on the proposed development at Cross Bayou.
And lots of Facebook and Shreveport Security text line comments. We'll get to those in just a couple of seconds. 19 past 8. Keel traffic. Here's Ruben.
Still keeping an eye on that heavy backed up traffic on I-20 westbound starting at Spring and Market. It's backed up past Airline Drive right now. And we have reports of a minor accident on East 70th Street and Fern Avenue. If you have any accidents, hazards, or closures to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline, 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. Morning sunshine, then clouds and sun for this afternoon and evening with a thunderstorm or two. High 91. Patchy clouds and a low of 72 overnight. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm Heather Zaire.
.101.7 FM and 710 Keel. Time for sports. Timmy time.
Good morning from the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger. This is Tim Fletcher. The Shreveport City Council voted 5-2 in favor of a resolution that will allow Mayor Ollie Tyler to work on securing the bonds needed to pay for a multi-purpose arena that would be used as the lure for the New Orleans Pelicans to place their minor league team in Shreveport. In addition, officials from Corporate Realty, a Birmingham master planner group, unveiled the plans for a mixed-use development. This would include stores, a hotel, apartments, and offices. This portion of the proposal is expected to cost over $100 million and would be privately financed. In addition, there would be space allotted north of the downtown Hilton to build a pair of football fields just in case the city could work out a deal for the New Orleans Saints to move training camp to Shreveport. Rick Holland told us the team is very interested. They would actually use the Hilton for player accommodations and could turf the convention center to make it their indoor facility. Ed Orgeron ended a budding drama in training camp by naming Danny Etling the starting quarterback for LSU, not just for the season opener against BYU on the 2nd of September, but the entire season, barring injury. From the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger, this is Tim Fletcher.
What?
This is interesting.
101.7 FM and 710 Keel. Robert J. Wright, Erin McCarty, 23 past 8. If anybody, because it's 8:23, some folks are just turning on the radio. They came in maybe in the middle of the interview with Mr. Ronnie from the Gaming Control Board down in New Orleans / Baton Rouge, etc. Fill everybody in on what's going on this morning. Specifically, I mean, if you can, in a minute or two, the mayor's presentation about the G League team, the NBA minor league team, and the new arena complex that now the cost of which is in excess of $100 million. But this Birmingham company, well, look, you've got all the info. Go ahead.
You bet. The mayor pitched her plan, full plan. She brought the Birmingham company in, Corporate Realty. They unveiled the proposal, big video screen, etc. It's a $30 million city investment. The Birmingham company is investing well over $100 million. It would include not only an arena for the Pelicans, it would include office space, entertainment, retail, residential space.
Yeah. Now, the mayor said to us, your big question was, okay, who owns the land? And the mayor told us that the city of Shreveport would still be the owner of all the land.
So if I rented an apartment there, would I write my check to Ollie Tyler?
I would think it would be a little more circuitous.
To Corporate Realty, I guess?
Now, the other questions are, and she said no, for other than the arena. My question was, let's say that, what's the name of the company, the Birmingham company?
Corporate Realty.
Corporate Realty comes in and invests $100+ million on shopping and a whole bunch of great stuff. And X number of years down the line, hell, even the first year, they don't meet the goals that they had agreed to with the city. In other words, let's say we expected to make $10 million. We only made $8 million.
Right.
Is the city on the hook for $2 million? And the mayor said, for the shopping, for the private enterprise, for the private entities that will be operating there, the city is not on the hook for any of those dollars.
There is some concern, though, that we voted on this to be a park, invested as a Cross Bayou Park years ago.
You know, tell me more about that, because explain to me, in what year were these funds first set aside and or...
it was the 95 bond issue.
Right.
And I believe it was a $5 million set aside for the Cross Bayou area. I may have these numbers wrong. I think there was supposedly $2 million spent.
It's been sitting there 17 years.
Yeah, exactly. Nothing being done. There is some concern, though, that is an historic property. I just got this text from somebody with a lot of background on this. It's rich in city history dating to and including the Civil War, and under state and federal law, a 106 historical impact study must be done. So we shall see.
What kind of impact study?
It is called a 106 historical impact study. I'll have to learn more about that.
And because, Lord knows, any kind of environmental or impact study takes virtually no time at all. I-49.
Yeah. And where's the money we voted on the bond issue in 95? I know some of it was spent on parts of the riverfront, but I thought there was $3 million left in that money. Whose pocket is that in?
Having spoken to the mayor, having spoken to City Attorney William Bradford in the 7 o'clock hour, what did you take away from that? And having spoken to Councilman Michael Corbin late in the 7 o'clock hour, what do you think about the whole deal right now? Have your feelings about that changed?
Well, the mayor's going to move forward with some sort of development on Cross Bayou, with or without the Pelicans. That's what I heard her say.
You really think? See, I think
I heard her say she's doing something.
She was
not to this scale, maybe.
She was on a tightrope. I don't know, maybe.
Not to this scale, but I mean, we've promised.
But then
to
Michael
do this.
Corbin said no.
No, exactly. And he said no. So.
And so, if she needs the city council's approval,
sure,
to do any sort of development in that area, and to allocate or to say to approve any sort of borrowing and or bond issue,
right.
And Michael said, as I'm sure a lot of other city councilmen feel, that if we don't get this Pelicans minor league team, this G League team, that there's no deal. That see you Birmingham, see you Realty Company. And I just don't know that the city council is going to be as enthusiastic in their approval as they are and or optimistic right now.
Yeah, we do have a poll on our website whether or not you support this proposal. You can take the poll, but I'm just hazard to tell you, about 95% right now say no.
But what's that based on? Don't you think that's based on a lot of bad experiences?
It is. It's based on a lot of historical failures.
And I had asked you before, and you really chewed me up pretty good, and you can repeat if you want. We got about a minute here. I said, what's the difference between this idea? And I said, isn't this just Villaggio with a basketball court?
No.
Isn't this just the boardwalk with a gymnasium?
No. It's a downtown area. You have a lot of businesses downtown. Let's find reasons for them to come back or to stay there.
And yet every public/private partnership the city has done previously hasn't worked out that well. Red River District.
That's an issue.
And there's a lot of rumors, to be blunt about it, that the city is not particularly overjoyed with the way that SMG is running the convention center, etc.
I know. There's big issues with that, and we need to work that out for sure.
29 past 8 o'clock, 101.7 FM, 710 Keel traffic update coming up. How's about right now? Here's Ruben, and he's on Keel.
Uri Drive and East Burke-Coons Industrial Loops dealing with some slow-moving traffic right now. And we're still pretty backed up on I-20 westbound. It is still backed up to Airline Drive right now. If you know something we don't, accidents, hazards, or closures, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline, 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. Morning sunshine, then clouds and sun for this afternoon and evening with a thunderstorm or two. High 91. Patchy clouds and a low of 72 overnight. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm Heather Zayer.
The power of information. KEEL News now.
The Shreveport City Council, with a 5-2 vote, approves a proposal to potentially build a $100 million plus sports and retail complex in downtown Shreveport. It would be home to the New Orleans Pelicans G League team and would feature shops, recreational areas, office space, and residential. Another component could involve the Saints.
As Will mentioned, the Benson family also owns the Saints. We know the Saints are looking to do and are interested in a new practice facility. We wanted to make sure that we planned for and protected that inside of our planning module in this conceptual mixed-use plan.
The council could take a final vote on the proposal in 2 weeks. The only council members to vote no yesterday, James Fleury and William Bradford. Bossier Parish Schools held a groundbreaking celebration for the new $47 million Benton High School. The new school will be built in the area behind Kingston Elementary. The new facility will be able to hold 1,450 students with room for expansion if needed. Lawmakers talk finances and the fiscal cliff. Matt Parker with that.
Legislators from all over the state gathered at the Municipal Auditorium in Shreveport to discuss the financial future of Louisiana. One of the major topics of discussion is whether or not to keep the temporary 1-penny sales tax hike on the books. Both Ryan Gaddy and Cedric Glover said they were against keeping the tax. However, Speaker of the House Taylor Barras says that the tax should at least be considered until the state finds more solid financial footing. From 101.7 FM and 710 Keel, I'm Matt Parker.
Governor John Bel Edwards says state officials are monitoring the disturbance in the Gulf named Harvey. GOSEP is setting up their crisis action team. The governor made the comments following a meeting with new FEMA Administrator Brock Long and New Orleans Mayor Mitch Landrieu. Edwards says there is good news every day about New Orleans' increasing pumping capacity and power generation when it comes to dealing with potential flooding.
And obviously there is a window of time where there's more vulnerability than we would like, but there is no reason for the people of New Orleans to be panicked at all.
He says the storm could hit southeast Texas sometime Friday as a Cat 1 hurricane, so southwest Louisiana should be on alert. President Trump blaming the media for the widespread condemnation of his response to violence at a Charlottesville protest organized by white supremacists. At a political rally in Phoenix, he unabashedly acknowledged that he was defying his advisors' recommendations to stick to the script and appear presidential. LSU proud of its new live mascot, Mike 7, which came from a rescue facility in Florida. When Mike 6 passed away, the school rejected offers from breeders. Instead, LSU system president F. King Alexander says they wanted to save a tiger that didn't have a permanent home.
He is here in a situation as a tiger that perhaps faced some impending doom down the road after he turns 5 years old.
You have to really see this to believe it. A woman is caught on videotape shoplifting bottles and bottles of liquor from Thrifty Liquor on Burt Coons. She actually walked out with 18 bottles of alcohol stuffed in her pants, bra, and purse. She did pay for one bottle. You can see the full video on our website, KEELnews.com. Partly cloudy today. We will have some sunshine, maybe some rain moving in. 91 for the high. Right now it's 76. I'm Erin McCarty on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL. You sure we can do this?
1, 2, 3, 4.
18 bottles of wine in my pants. 18 bottles of wine. You take one out, drink it down. 17 bottles of wine in my pants. 17 bottles of wine in my pants. 17 bottles of wine.
101.7 FM and 710 KEEL. Robert and Erin, what on earth
are we doing?
There was a lady, and you can see the video at KEELnews.com.
Oh my God!
And over a period of about
Sorry, Matt.
How long is the video? I watched the beginning.
I don't remember. I think it's like 2 minutes or something.
And so in literally 120 seconds, this woman at Thrifty Liquor on Burt Coons.
She is shoving liquor down her pants and her purse and her, yeah.
Okay, so in a couple of minutes, and this is on the video. This is the store video.
Mm-hmm.
She inserts, no, she puts...
She's shoving them in there.
18 bottles of liquor and wine. And brandy and other large bottled...
I see some vodka.
Large bottled liquor into her pants. They're yoga pants.
Well, I think they're sweatpants.
I'm
thinking about if I put on a big old pair of sweatpants, how many bottles of booze can I get in them?
They're ill-fitting, and I don't mean they're too big. So here's my point.
Man.
This woman goes into the liquor store and stuffs 18 bottles, large bottles, into her clothing.
Yeah.
Then walks up to the cashier.
And she paid for one bottle.
Paid for one bottle.
Nobody says, ma'am.
And clanked out.
Are you happy to see me?
Here's my question. If and this was a Thrifty, right?
I think so, yes.
Almost every time I go to Thrifty Liquor, there's a security man or woman on the job. There's at least a couple of cashiers.
Yep.
So my question is, how do you move through a checkout line?
I know.
And not be clanky and conspicuous given I mean, look, she was already a little misshapen. But one would think...
She was curvaceous.
One would think...
There's no curves.
One would think, given the rather tight fit of her yoga / sweatpants,
that
there would be a shape there would be, you could have seen, I'm just a little surprised. She paid for her one bottle and she left, and no pun intended, she is still at large.
16 bottles of wine in my pants, 16 bottles of wine. You take one out, drink it down, 15 bottles of wine in my pants.
839, 1017 FM, 710 Keel, Shreveport City Councilwoman Stephanie Lynch in just a couple of seconds. On the mayor's deal, she voted yes to move on, but what's the plan? What does she think? Meantime, here's Ruben.
Uri Drive and East Burke-Coons Industrial Loops dealing with some slow-moving traffic right now, and we're still pretty backed up on I-20 westbound. It is still backed up to Airline Drive right now. If you know something we don't, accidents, hazards, or closures, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline, 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast, morning sunshine, then clouds and sun for this afternoon and evening with a thunderstorm or two, high 91, patchy clouds and a low of 72 overnight. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm Heather Zaire.
It is 841. It's 1017 FM 710 Keel. The Keel app's a free download from Office Furniture Source. Shreveport City Councilwoman Stephanie Lynch is here. Good morning, Miss Stephanie. How are you today?
Good morning.
You voted yes yesterday. You voted to go along with the mayor, at least initially. Was this an enthusiastic yes vote on the new sports arena, $100 million plus? Was it an enthusiastic yes, or was it sort of a let's take a closer look and see?
Well, I mean, my yes is yes and my no is no. So it was an affirmative vote.
Are you skeptical about anything in this proposal at this point, Stephanie?
Well, I'm waiting to get more feedback from the citizens because they are the ones who will have to fill those seats. And right now, you know, what I'm hearing is, you know, hell no, we won't go. You know, they're not saying right now that they're willing to support this.
So do you think that yesterday the mayor made a good first step in convincing you and over the next few weeks your constituents that this is a good idea?
Well, let me tell you that the mayor was flossing yesterday and flossing this morning on you all's program. And I have to commend her and her team. They put together an excellent presentation. In fact, I got one email from not one of my constituents, but from someone that said, you know, yesterday, the day before Monday, they were against it, but after seeing the presentation, they said they were for it. And so there's a possibility that some people's minds will be changed. But what I said to that person is, give it a week, let the aura of the presentation die down, because it's a very slick presentation, and the reality will begin to set in.
Is there, in a week or so, is there the possibility that Stephanie Lynch will be telling people this is a good idea?
I'm going to be listening. I'm not going to be telling anybody anything. I'm going to be listening first. I mean, I've had, this is my second time seeing the presentation, and I'm reserved right now.
The previous public-private partnerships, and we've had a few of those, you've heard that term before, I'm sure. The previous public-private partnerships that the city has been involved in, Red River District and a couple of others, have not gone so well, but because of the people involved in this deal, the company from Birmingham and the Benson family, the owner of the Pelicans and the Saints, do you feel a little better about another public-private partnership?
With the problems and the issues that we have in the city of Shreveport, I don't think the Benson brand or the NBA brand is going to move people to buy tickets to go to the game.
If I had to ask you on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being this is going to be a great success, 1 this is going to be a dismal failure.
If it goes through.
Where are you on that scale now, Stephanie?
I really can't say. I'm cautiously optimistic, but at the same time, I really am going to take my cue from the people that we have to depend on to sit in those seats and to make the financials work. I mean, it could be the greatest plan, but if the people don't support it, then we're back to square one.
Do you believe that we need to develop Cross Bayou with or without the Pelicans' involvement?
Absolutely. And I've said to the mayor, if her staff and team had put as much effort into the issues that we're having with crime, with infrastructure, with, not being trashy, and, several other things, if they would put the same time and commitment toward those things that they've put toward this one, maybe people would be ready and more accepting. But there's a big gulf there, and I think that's where a lot of the consternation is coming from and heartache is coming from about this proposal, because people don't feel like the basics have been covered.
That sounds pretty critical of the mayor. You say you've told her that in person. How does she respond?
I've told her that in person and in the open council meeting. Some things are being glossed over. And I think that's some of the response that's coming, because what we're seeing on social media in response to the story yesterday, the initial story, is that people want the basic city services covered and covered efficiently and effectively before, we make such a giant leap.
The mayor and Mr. Bradford, William Bradford, will make the case that by building this, by all these businesses being opened, etc., that the tax dollars, the revenue that will generate for the city will help to cover a lot of the problems you just mentioned, i.e. infrastructure, to some degree schools, police departments, etc. What do you think?
That's a pipe dream.
Why do you say that?
Because, I've been in elected office for 14 years now. I've seen a lot of presentations, heard a lot of proposals. They said the same thing about the Red River District. They said the same thing about the Convention Center, said the same thing about the Hilton Hotel. And those things are costing us hundreds of thousands of dollars because it's not working as it was proposed.
Ms. Stephanie, pardon me.
Excuse me. It's Fairgrounds Field.
Mm-hmm. It seems to me that despite you saying you had sort of an open mind, that you really are going to have to, Stephanie Lynch is going to really have to be sold on this idea.
Well, I'm just saying what I'm hearing from my constituents and the community at large. I'm voicing those concerns.
Is there anything you could hear from the mayor, Mr. Bradford, or those involved in the next, the vote September 12th, that would get not only your vote but your enthusiastic vote?
Well, I'm taking my cue from the people, and I'm telling you that there are 4 votes on the council right now to pass this deal. This is a done deal in terms of the elected officials.
You think that your opinion won't matter?
No. The only opinion that will matter is that of the citizens. They can recall this effort, possibly, but it's not going to come from them, contacting us, the city council, because the votes are already there.
Do you think any of the city council, any of your other city council men or people on the council, do you think their votes are shaky, or are those all solid?
No, there are 4 votes to support this.
No matter
as
what.
Of today.
That's
no matter
Corbin,
what. I think
Corbin, Jenkins, Everson, and who's the 4th? Bowman?
There are 4 votes, possibly 5.
Okay.
And so if people are really saying that we're not going to support it, we're not going to buy tickets, we're not going to be in the seats, they need to let the NBA Pelican organization know that.
Stephanie Lynch, can't thank you enough for your time. We sure appreciate it.
All righty, you're welcome.
Thanks.
It's 849, 1017 FM, 710 Keel. Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty. It's a done deal, she says. We'll cover that more in just a moment. Your KeelAccuWeather.com forecast, sunny, hot, humid today, highs in the 90s. Right now, 77 at Keel. It is 8 before 9 o'clock. Keel Sports. Here's Fletch.
Good morning from the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger. This is Tim Fletcher. The Shreveport City Council voted 5-2 in favor of a resolution that will allow Mayor Ollie Tyler to work on securing the bonds needed to pay for a multi-purpose arena that would be used as the lure for the New Orleans Pelicans to place their minor league team in Shreveport. In addition, officials from Corporate Realty, a Birmingham master planner group, unveiled the plans for a mixed-use development. This would include stores, a hotel, apartments, and offices. This portion of the proposal is expected to cost over $100 million and would be privately financed. In addition, there would be space allotted north of the downtown Hilton to build a pair of football fields just in case the city could work out a deal for the New Orleans Saints to move training camp to Shreveport. Rick Holland told us the team is very interested. They would actually use the Hilton for player accommodations and could turf the convention center to make it their indoor facility. Ed Orgeron ended a budding drama in training camp by naming Danny Etling the starting quarterback for LSU, not just for the season opener against BYU on the 2nd of September, but the entire season, barring injury. From the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger, this is Tim Fletcher.
It is 8:55, 101.7 FM, 710 Keel. Robert and Erin. Erin McCarty, future winner of the Powerball this evening. It's a done deal.
$700 million.
It's a dunner deal than the mayor's $100 million deal. What do you think about that?
What?
What Stephanie Lynch just said.
That it's a done deal.
4 votes in the bag.
They're in the bag.
That would be. You tell me who it would be.
It would be Oliver Jenkins, Michael Corbin, Jeff Everson, and Jerry Bowman, I would guess, or Stephanie Lynch, because Fleury and Bradford voted against it.
I didn't look as Stephanie voted yes.
And she even said it might be 5, which would mean she'd be one of them.
Stephanie voted yes. And yet I did not hear her say one positive thing about it. Did you?
No.
Nor the fact, well, she said, this is the way it was.
It could be a game changer, though. When you look at it and you listen to all that, man, it sounds dreamy.
I'm going to wait and see. She sounded, she went Brett Butler on us.
I'm gonna wait for my constituents.
It wasn't an upbeat and happy and positive, I'm going to wait and see. It was like, I'm going to have to be convinced because I'm just not thinking this is going to help anybody but a bunch of people other than my constituents.
Yep. Our polling, by the way, is now at 86% are in favor of this, 11% no, and 2% or so say they don't care.
What? That's at KeelNews.com. Back tomorrow morning, 6 till 9. Erin will be in even after winning the Powerball. You're supposed to jump in there.
No.
You're not going to come. You're not coming in.
I'm going to have a virus.
Are you kidding? You'll be in just to gloat. Right now, Kim Commando on Keel.
For the past month, I've been using Apple's new mobile operating system for iPhones and iPads. And if what I'm seeing carries over to the final product, there's going to be some real ramifications for law enforcement worldwide. Kim Commando here with your Wednesday Digital Consumer Tech Update. Apple's iOS 11 has a slew of new features, but there's one in particular that got my attention. When you press the lock button 5 times quickly in a row, the phone is set to SOS mode. There's a loud siren sound. It automatically calls 911 and reports your location. And then one other thing. It completely disables the iPhone's Touch ID and locks the device. No one, not the police, courts, or the NSA, can unlock the phone, not even Apple. Only you can with your personal passcode. Let's just say this feature will not make the police and government very happy. But Apple has been very clear that it will not be forced by the courts to unlock a user's device. Get all the tech news updated all the time at news.commando.com. That's KOMANDO.
Why just listen to the Kim Commando Show when there's so much more? Why not watch the whole show in high definition on your phone, tablet, or television?
This is so cool because you're so nice.
Or download the podcast in crystal clear digital audio. Watch or listen on your schedule, driving, exercising, or relaxing.
I have been following you for years, and you've made me pretty much the genius.
But Kim's Club is so much more. You also get security and data breach alerts, priority calling into the Kim Commando Show.
My favorite digital goddess. I'm so glad I get to talk to you.
And Kim's Club offers discounts for everyone over 50, former and current military, and all service personnel. It's never been more affordable to be a Kim's Club member. So stay up to date the easy and fun way. Because these days, you can't know too much about technology.
And it's like you're our friend on the radio, and I just think it's awesome.
Go now to club.commando.com. That's KOMANDO, club.commando.com.
Uri Drive and East Coons Industrial Loops dealing with some slow-moving traffic right now. And we're still pretty backed up on I-20 westbound. It is still backed up to Airline Drive right now. If you know something we don't, accidents, hazards, or closures, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline, 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. Sun this morning, clouds and sun this afternoon and evening with a thunderstorm or two, high 91. Partly cloudy, low 72 overnight. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm Heather Zayer.
Breaking news and trending talk. This is 101.7 FM and 710 Keel.